Everyone, Krusky from Adopt here, doing my next video in the series of the Tier 8 Clan Battles maps. This one's Sea of Fortune. Again, my disclaimer that this is designed against people learning clan battles, talking about very basic strategies, not something exactly a high-level clan will really benefit from, and this is just going over basics. The caps in the map are drawn by me, not exactly specific, so I want to focus less on go to this spot in this case, but just more of a general idea. Just to start off here, the Baltimore and Edinburgh are two popular ships in Tier 8 clan battles. Edinburgh is not a ship I thought would be very popular, but has come to be like one of the standard radar cruisers, at least for the level that Adopt's been playing. And the reason why is Edinburgh has a heal, and so I believe it's a little bit stealthier than Baltimore. Don't actually know the values of each ship, but I want to say Edinburgh was just a little bit stealthier. They have the same radar, 10 kilometers at 30 seconds, so it's very good that way. The reason why a lot of people are liking Edinburgh is it's a little bit more maneuverable and that heal. So if you kind of look at this, and Edinburgh would change things a little bit differently. Baltimore would have its nose in. Edinburgh would be more or less wanting to disengage. A lot of teams actually wouldn't even put an Edinburgh right here. They would have it more open water, maybe over here, maybe over here, depending on their strategy and what they see from their enemy team. Most teams at like a Hurricane Typhoon level would be not exactly doing this copy paste scenario, but this is a very basic positioning that any team can do and can use and still do all right. So if I draw out these radar ranges, 10 kilometers, so Edinburgh's is 10 kilometers, and I will highlight the Baltimore's in blue here. That one is also 10 kilometers. So roughly, if you look at it, these two ships at their positions can radar almost every single cap in the map. Just about most of the time, there are little bits of sea that the ships can sometimes not get depending on where they're positioned. This is where Edinburgh shines because it can move. It's generally positioned a little bit different. It can wrong cap. It can move itself to get the little bit of C by using acceleration to cover the entire cap. So that's one of the reasons that Edinburgh has been popular, but mostly because it does a little bit better open water than, say, Baltimore. And right here, just like every other map, if you kind of look at the general placement, again, the middle is usually a no-go zone. At least at the start, I think this map is one of the best examples of a mid to late game push. It is super successful. You do not want to run in early in the game because a battleship or a cruiser trapped in this general area right here is not going to fare very well. That it does have some advantages where it can hide behind islands, but generally most teams will outposition that cruiser and kill it very quickly. Same thing with the battleship. So you don't want to be doing that rush right away. However, mid to late game, if you have a health advantage or you need to make a play, putting a battleship in A and B can be very successful, especially if you've uh, either killed the enemy DD or it's so low in health that it can't challenge you in any gunfight against your own DD. Those are very important things that you need to pay attention to, is how much health that the enemy DD had last. If you send your DD up through here, can it challenge it, or can you get a radar or cruiser to help radar it and keep it out of the cap? All that stuff becomes very important. So for the most part in Tier 8, I haven't seen as much action on the 1-2 line as I did in Tier 10 clan battles. It was almost guaranteed that in Tier 10 that you would see something here. I've been seeing a little bit more something like this, where the ships go around like this. They don't go out as wide, probably due to the reduced speed of a lot of the Tier 8 ships. But definitely this still does happen. It's not rare, so always be ready for it. There is plenty of action over there still. And general strategy would that be to cap this. Most cruisers and destroyers can actually fit right into here. However, I don't like this as much, as it could be. It generally can be pretty easy for the cruiser to get killed here. Um, if you look at this here, it can hide behind this island, and I think my drawing is a little bit off. I think cap covers a little bit more like this. Move B over. It's something like that. So a cruiser can fit in there. However, this Baltimore, if you were to send a Baltimore in here, it's able to get shot at from about there, from about here, and then even depending on the ship's shell arcs, about there. So that's always something you want to be concerned of. Many ships can even shoot it from here if it has the range. So that Baltimore probably wouldn't last long if the if your team's able to spot that, or if the enemy team's able to spot your ship. So I'm not as big of a fan of that, although it definitely can be played successfully. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if you do want to send a Baltimore there, be aware of where it's weak. So like I said, here, general here, here, and possibly even here. So make sure if there is a ship able to shoot it, that you can put pressure on that ship so it's not just free to hurt your cruiser. So those are just little things you have to think about. Most of these good teams that are Hurricane and some of these best teams, they're able to be aware of that stuff and make it hard for an enemy team to counter them that way. So another general strategy is to push up this 9-10 line and win the fight at sea. That's been pretty common for me. Everybody might be different. You might be saying, hey, 1-2 line is always going, and you're definitely not wrong. It can happen. Everybody has different experiences. So I'm really only talking about what I've seen. And so right here, if you kind of look at it, a cruiser going around, and this point right here actually has some good defense with these islands. However, it's easy for it to get stuck in here. This is I've been a Barrett here, or a Baltimore. Once you get here, it's hard to turn around. So if a ship gets there, it's easily shot at from here, here, and possibly even here, depending on the range of ships in the arcs of their shells. So that is always a good spot. Everything has to be done well. Now, a mid to late game push is often accompanied by a battleship, and this is why Vlad has been so popular, of how tanky this ship is. So if I take my Vlad here, Vlad has good armor, so most cruisers can't pen all of it. DDs, it has a really good Russian DCP. So a Vlad, it also doesn't have great range, but it does well at close quarters. So Vlad could push into this cap and just live for a long time. Generally, as long as it doesn't eat a whole wall of torpedoes, that Vlad is going to take a few minutes to kill if it's near full health. So that's why this mid to late game push is so key, because if this enemy team doesn't have the health to challenge this Vlad, the Vlad is just going to walk in and take both caps. And provided that you don't have an answer for it, it's going to be really hard if you don't have a lot of health to challenge ships on the 110 line. So it's going to be hard if you don't have health to keep this area open so you can have your teammate shoot the Vlad from here. Same thing if you don't have the health, it's going to be hard to do there. So it's so important to pay attention to teams' health values. There's mods that show you the last known health of a ship, and it only shows up for your render distance. So if a ship's not in your render range, it won't show their health. But it's so useful for clans to communicate that if you don't have those mods, to say, hey, their ships are pretty weak, we have the health advantage. Many mods show a health status of each team at the top, and sometimes I'll look up that as a shot caller and say, hey, we have so much more health than them, let's be aggressive right now. Or, hey guys, we don't have the health, we need this point to hold, and I'll say, let's hold this. So that can often really help you. So I hope this guide, I wanted to keep it short and simple, was useful. Talking about the very basics of pushes here. Oh, before I exit, another common push is 2C push. A lot of teams will push in here, control around up here. Let me delete these so it doesn't get confusing. They'll kind of do one of these pushes to push back the enemy team while keeping their force just holding here and here, and they push around. And this is one of the common things that a lot of teams strive for, is you control half the map. If you look at that, that's roughly half the map if they can do it. So you always want to be controlling at least half the map. And when you don't control half the map, that's when you lose control, and the enemy team will push you back. So I'll end the video here. Please let me know if you have any questions or want to discuss it further. I'll leave the link to this website to draw out the maps, and I'll leave a link to the Adopt Discord if you'd like to join and ask any questions, or look for any help. Again, Adopt is willing to help any clan with clan battles, whether it's reviewing a replay, just talking about strategies. We don't really hold any secrets. We're not hyper competitive that way. We like to have fun and teach people So we'll welcome anybody to come here and learn, whether you're the leader of the clan, just a member of the clan, anything. Come by, talk to us. As always, let me know if you have any questions on Reddit, YouTube, Discord. I'll be happy to answer anything or point you to somebody who's more qualified to answer those questions than I am. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.